Welcome to Broadband Action, the Community Broadband Action Network podcast. I'm Curtis Dean, your host, and today we're going to be talking about a great event that is coming up here in April, and it is in the Dallas, Texas area. It's an event that I've been to a couple of times in a row now, and I've really enjoyed it. It's called Connected America, and joining me today is Brad Randall. He is one of the people that make Connected America come together every year, at least since it started. So, Brad, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Curtis. It's always great to be on your podcast.
You bet. And I've been on yours before, and I'll be on yours again as we get to Connected America doing something live from your location. I always appreciate that opportunity. So this is, I believe this is the fourth year of Connected America. Is that correct?
That's right. This is our fourth Connected America.
So talk a little bit about how Connected America as an event came together, because it is, actually some roots in Great Britain, I believe, with the whole connected concept, right?
Well, Terrapin has connected Britain, and we've kind of followed that theme wherever we've gone and had a big presence. And of course, we have a large presence in the United States. We acquired Broadband Communities a few years ago, and that's about when we started Connected America. So, Broadband Community Summit is really for the broadband community, but Connected America is really general and it's for everyone. So it's intended to be, it's three-faceted. It's networking, it's a great conference, and you have a great exposition hall where you can see what's going on in the industry, who's doing what, and who wants to get their name out there. So
I always enjoy the networking at every one of the events that I go to, but I've really kind of taken a shine to Connected America because it just seems like everybody is, I wouldn't say people have their guard down, but they're really there to network. Yeah, there's always sales transactions happening, and but everybody's there to really share and have great conversation. Well, let's start first with the exhibit hall at Connected America. Brad, you guys always put together a great group of vendors and exhibitors, people that solve problems and create the products that it takes to be in the broadband business. So let's talk a little bit about the exhibit hall.
Well, the pressure's on with the Irving Convention Center. It's a big building, so you got to fill it. And we'll have hundreds of sponsors and exhibitors there. And we also have some attractions happening in the exhibition hall, during the conference. And one of them will be you and me, Curtis, with a podcast stage where we'll have live running episodes throughout the event. And you can kind of hear what I'm talking to my guest about on Beyond the Cable, which, just to give a plug, that's my podcast. But the exhibition hall is always just a lively, active place. And we've spent the past year since the last Connected America thinking about new ways to kind of bring the energy to this year's event. And I think our attendees will be pretty impressed.
And the attendees come from, all over. I think, 1,500 or better on an average year, and it keeps growing, doesn't it?
We have our own little community, and we could probably make a small town with the folks that show up, and that number's about in the ballpark. Correct.
Okay, so let's talk about the agenda too. Like many of the other events that I've attended in the industry, to me, it's like a three-legged stool. A great event has great exhibitors, and we talked about your exhibit hall. And I'd encourage people to go to the website, and I'll post that here in a little bit, so you can see who those exhibitors are, because you're going to see a lot of familiar people, a lot of familiar names. The other leg of the stool is the attendees and the opportunity for networking from person to person. So you might see somebody who is a peer of yours or a colleague of yours from a different company. I always like to say, Brad, it's like family reunion when I go to shows, because immediately you start seeing people, you go, hey, there's so-and-so, and there's so, yeah, and grab a cup of coffee together or whatever. So so there's that element of it.
I'll tell you another element too. I walk around the floor during these events, and I'll see people I know all the time, but they're so deep in conversation, you don't want to bother them because something important is obviously happening. So
yeah, I'm like that. I'll do a little scan, a little crowd scan. I'll go, oh, there's John. I need to talk to John about this. But John's clearly in the middle of an engaged conversation right now. I'm not going to bug John, so I'll jot his name down and I'll go try to find him later. But that's always a challenge too, because you have so many people there that sometimes you wonder if you're going to get a chance to catch up with that person again. Inevitably, you do.
I can't tell you how used to I am to the message. Hey, I saw you at Connected America,
Yeah.
but we weren't able to sit down and have a cup of coffee.
That's a very typical message. So you got the attendees and the interpersonal networking that happened there, the exhibitors, and then the very important part of the three-legged stool of Connected America or any successful event are the sessions. So let's talk a little bit about the sessions that you have planned this year. I see, and I'll bring this up again because we showed it earlier. America's digital future is the theme this year. So how does that tie into your agenda and the sessions that you're doing, Brad?
Well, I think, I said, up front, Connected America is kind of a general event, and it's for everybody. So we have a number of themes where our sessions are broken down into just the general Connected America. We have Data Center Forum, AI America, Connected Networks, Connected Society, Connected Places, Startup America. And so all of those will have individual sessions kind of dedicated to topics in those themes. But, just to kind of break it down, the diversity that we're looking at, the economics of connectivity will be one panel, business of rural broadband, something you'd probably be interested in, and strategies for building profitable commercial models in those rural areas. That'd be another one. What's next for fiber? Talking about the BEAD program, and fiber has kind of been reduced in importance, but now, as we get through the rollout of BEAD, we're seeing how important fiber is, and people are kind of second guessing some of the things going on. So what's next for fiber? And, we're going to talk about private equity as government programs are being cut, and some of the support is being whittled back. We're hearing, at least from some state broadband offices, that folks are discouraged from participating in BEAD because some of the language that's been sent out from Washington of this is one bite of the apple, don't take another one. So private equity has really increased in importance. We're going to have sessions dedicated to funding, what those guys are looking at, and options available. So yeah, there's no limit. We're also going to be talking about what's next in network innovation, the scalability of mobile devices and mobile connectivity in America. So the sky's the limit, Curtis. I'm probably leaving some key things out, but it's very all encompassing.
Well, shameless plug here. I will promote the fact that I am actually very honored to be a moderator for a session this year, and I'm excited about it. It's called The Future of Open Access Networks, and it's an area that has a lot of wind beneath its wings right now with open access networks. We're here at CBAN have been working with the city of Wilmer, Minnesota for several months now, as they're planning on building a open access network in their community in the middle of Minnesota. But open access networks are a growing trend in many, many areas, as we have many communities that want to have control of and ownership of infrastructure, but aren't really in the mood to be a provider. So by building an open access network, you can have the advantages that come with a competitive marketplace, while at the same time having community control over the assets. So there's my shameless plug for that Future of Open Access Network. That's 2 p.m. on Tuesday, April 14th at Connected America.
It makes me think of one of our key speakers, Roger Timmerman, CEO of Utopia Fiber, which is kind of the gold standard there when it comes to
one of the
open
granddaddies
access
of this whole thing. Yeah.
And we've covered some of the success on bbcmag.com. That's our website where we cover telecommunications throughout the week and keep our attendees informed when the event's not happening. We've covered some of the adjacent success to Utopia and Telepop, I think, is one of the ISPs that grew like 200-300% as they signed up with Utopia, and just amazing stuff. And what it can do for you as a provider is really underrated too.
Well, Aaron's a good friend of CBAN. Telepop is a CBAN member. In fact, they're going to be one of the ISPs operating in the Wilmer, Minnesota network.
Wow.
So, and we had folks here from Utopia at our conference last year, and always they learned some hard lessons along the way. Let's just say that, and they've been very kind to share those lessons with the rest of the community as other communities are looking at open access networks, in addition to the other various forms of ownership. I guess the thing we're talking about here is the most important thing is more Americans need better broadband, and it should be an all-in approach, not just one approach over the other.
Curtis, you kind of said it there, and I don't know if you realized it. There are people that have already fought these battles before.
Oh yeah.
And if you're going down this journey, it can be so valuable to learn from folks that have made mistakes that you're probably destined to make yourself if you're not aware that they're out there. So folks like Roger, I mean, they're invaluable. And if you find yourself in this position where you're trying to build out rural America, you're going to need help. You're going to need advice.
Yeah, absolutely. The other one I thought of was Ammon, Idaho. They were they participated in our summit last year, and I met up with their team at Connected America last year. So, in fact, the year before is when I met up with them and tried to talk them into coming to Iowa, and they did. So that was kind of cool. But that goes to the story of, to me, the value of attending an event like Connected America. It is the conversations in the hallway, the conversations over lunch or even happy hour that you have. We learn by sharing stories. We teach by telling our story. And one of the things that I think has been absent in the broadband industry sometimes has been we don't do enough of that. So an event like, people might say Connected America, why would I go to Dallas, in April? I'm in, wherever. I'm in Kentucky. What value do I have? The value that you have in an event like this is you're going to learn something when you don't expect it. And it's probably just as likely to be something you learn in the hallway as something you learn in an exhibit hall or in a session. So that's the value of going.
And kind of to build off of that, looking at our key speakers, we do have some heavy hitters. We have those state broadband directors coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think of like Brian Clayton, Broadband Development Office Director in Texas, and that's obviously a heavy hitter.
Yep.
But then we have, folks that we put them on a level platform with the heavy hitters. Kevin Gunn, Chief Technology Officer, City of Fort Worth. Thinking of Chris Lee, Chief Information Officer, City of Louisville, and both communities in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We consider those as much key speakers as the state broadband directors, because you have maybe more that you can learn from those types of guys because they have relatable situations and relatable struggles that they're going through.
Right. It may be easier to attract people when there's a big name on the agenda, but there may be very as likely to learn something from somebody they never knew about before. I think that's the value I get. And when I go to these, Connected America, two broadband communities, to me, two events that are very similar in that they are networking heavy. And that's what I like. I always meet people that I didn't know existed, that are people I should have known existed. And I wish I'd known 5 years ago they existed, but now I do. And that's the real value of an event like this.
There are a lot of great minds in this industry, and there are a lot of great leaders of organizations, and it's not just in the municipal world. There's great leaders of private companies, and who am I going to name here? I guess I would think of Rob Johnson from Novos Fiber. I mean, he's kind of visionary, and they're very active in Texas, and folks like that who believe in what they're doing and get up every day, get out of bed because they honestly do have a passion for what they do. So that's also inspiring, and it's nice to go home with that too. It's contagious.
Yeah, those mission-driven people are the ones that I really like to spend time with. And there are going to be plenty of them at Connected America.
Stephen Rose, CEO of Render Networks, another one that comes to mind.
Another big one. Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Passionate guy who loves talking about what he does. And, we have so many folks like that. So
it's fantastic. So let's talk about the conference itself as far as logistics wise, because we want people to go. We'll tell you that the event is coming up in April. And it's April 14th through 16th, right?
April 14th and 15th. Yep.
14th and 15th. Okay. And your location, the Irving Convention Center, it's Irving, but it's Dallas for everybody. Everybody knows Dallas. Irving is
West Las
suburb.
Colinas Boulevard, which
Las
is
Colinas, yeah,
kind of the
that's a
new
cool,
area
such
they
a
built
cool
up.
area. It
It is.
really is. I,
There's
I,
restaurants nearby. There's a variety of options of hotels. It is kind of the new face of Irving. So if you want to
it
see
is,
what Irving
and
looks like after years of construction and investment, that's where you see it.
the convention center itself is very convenient to get to and from, and it's also like you said, well connected to those restaurants and other things to do in that immediate area. Now let's talk about attendance. People can register now, but you also have some opportunities for people to get free or discounted tickets. I think that the free ticket program is mainly for press at this point. Is that correct?
Well, you should check it out if you think you might be eligible for a free ticket.
Okay.
We go beyond just press, so public officials, companies offering residential broadband services direct to companies, to consumers, wholesale network operators, B2B operators, MSPs, data centers. There are a variety of options to acquire free tickets, and we have a variety of baskets that you might find yourself in.
Never hurts to ask, right? That's what I'm thinking. I almost lost you there.
We're still on, right?
Yeah, we are now. Yeah, I pushed the wrong button. I was going to say it never hurts to ask. You may be eligible. I will tell you that if you're watching this or listening to this podcast right now, and you know how to get a hold of me, reach out, because I have some guest passes that I'm still have to first come first serve for people to attend Connected America. And I gave away a couple of those last year when I was also happened to be a speaker, and those are people that are like, they definitely want to come back because they had such a great experience.
And you can find more about our free ticket program at the event website, just on the top banner, all the way to the right. You'll just find free ticket program. Click on that.
Yep. And I got the URL right up on the screen right now. I will put this in the description for those of you who aren't watching. You're just listening along, so that you can go and also get registered for Connected America. And, Brad, you're also involved in the Broadband Communities event that is when, August?
And we're having that in August this year in Houston. Yep.
Yep. So we'll be back talking about that later on as we get a little bit closer. I just bought my tickets the other day, so and I'm ready to go. And I think I'm on a couple of panels there too. So it's nice. I offer myself as free labor just so I get to go to these things and I can justify it. So,
well, Houston this year will be hosting some World Cup matches in June and July. Ooh. So that is why we have moved our event back to August.
That's what I was wondering about that, because it used to be in June, wasn't it, or May?
Correct. But we don't want our attendees competing with attendees of the World Cup games. So
right, and those football fans are we think telecom people are crazy, but they're just a little more fanatic than we are about fiber. So
we don't even come close.
Don't even come close. Not at all. Not at all. Well, hey, Brad, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I look forward to see you here in a few weeks at Connected America. And if you're going to be at Connected America, make sure you come up and find me, say hi. You can come to my session, the Future of Open Access Networks, that I'm moderating. You can be there when Brad grills me with his greatest Morley Safer style in the spirit of 60 Minutes and ask me all those tough questions about why do I have such a bad haircut, or how long have you been this gray, things like that.
Well, you can answer for it now if you'd like.
The answer is it's not in my hands, it's fate. No, great, Brad. Great to see you.
I'm not one to talk.
Well, we'll have our personal challenges to our personal issues to overcome. So,
right.
No, great talking with you again today, Brad. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Anytime you're welcome on Beyond the Cable. So we'll have you on soon.
We'll be on Beyond the Cable is Brad's podcast. And I strongly encourage you, if you're listening to this or watching Broadband Action, you need to be watching and listening to Brad's podcast too, because it is fascinating, and us podcasters tend to run in packs. So I always listen to yours, and I'm sure you listen to mine. Our guest today, Brad Randall, is from the folks at Connected America, coming up in April. And thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody for tuning in or listening in to Broadband Action.